BYU Sports Nation. Brought to you by the BYU Store. Simulcast on BYU TV and BYU Radio. Now from Studio B, here's Spencer Linton and Jarom Jordan.
BYU Sports Nation is live, your day-to-day play-by-play in Studio B, presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere. Monday, March 14th, wherever and however you are connected. Great to have you with us. I am Spencer Linton, teamed up with the man who is still waiting for that personal invitation from Kalani Sitake to play in the alumni football game, Jarom Jordan.
If it was a pickup basketball game, maybe, but Dennis Pitta would probably foul me like he did about 12 years ago in the Smith Fieldhouse. Anyway, we do have some exciting news coming up Thursday, March 31st at 8:30 Eastern on the BYU TV app. Boom, baby! The BYU football alumni game featuring quarterbacks Max Hall, Kevin Federick, and many others will be broadcast on the BYU TV app. Not to mention interviews with Kalani Sitake and current players to wrap up spring ball. That's March 31st, 8:30 Eastern. On the BYU TV app. That's going to be a great night.
It's been really fun to watch all of the publicity stunts that BYU football have put out with Mitch Matthews saying, I have committed to play in the alumni game. Like, it's really fun. They've done a good job with this.
Another word for this is called marketing.
Yeah. Yes.
Publicity stunt is Rod from, Hot Rod jumps over some school buses. But, yeah, it's been awesome because I'm like, whoa, what's Mike Hanneman committed to? It got my attention. Like, it worked. And Mitch Matthews is playing, we've heard, among other. Like, there are a lot of awesome players who are going to be playing. It'll be fun.
This is the way to do a spring football game.
Okay, let's clarify something. People ask us every year, let's just get out there. Why don't you broadcast the spring game? Because the team doesn't want it broadcast, okay? If they wanted it broadcast, you don't think we'd broadcast it?
They would ask us.
We would do it in a second.
If they wanted it.
Yeah, they don't want it. That's fine. That's their prerogative. All good. But we got the next best thing, baby, which is a bunch of older dudes playing flag football probably, okay? Which will be awesome. I can't wait. It'll be a lot of fun.
They're going to steal the show. And we're going to try and steal your attention here today with the Monday show lineup, including a full bracket breakdown for the BYU women in the Big Dance.
Yeah.
Did the ladies in any way, shape, or form get slighted with their seed, matchup, and where they're playing? Their head coach, Jeff Judkins, will join us live to discuss all of that. And how about the BYU men? Did they receive a fair postseason reward for the resume they put together in their season? Bring on today's BYU Sports Nation headlines.
Women's hoops gets a 6th seed in the NCAA Tournament and plays the 11th seed Villanova Saturday in Ann Arbor, Michigan, who's the 3 seed. It's the highest seed in program history. Super senior Paisley Harding says the team is motivated.
I think we're a great team. I think we're super talented across the whole board, coaches, players, it all. So I think this chip that we'll go into this tournament with is great. We can kind of hit a new high, I think, with it.
The winner gets Michigan or American, that's the school, in the second round next Monday. This game coming up Saturday.
Much more on the matchup and the scenario in just a few minutes. BYU men's basketball, you probably heard by now. We're going to go there anyway. Receives a 2 seed in the NIT. The Cougars will host Long Beach State at home, who are the runners-up in their conference. This Wednesday, 9 Eastern on ESPN+. The road to Madison Square Garden and the NIT Final Four begins again. We'll see.
I can't wait, said no one. Nah, let's get after it Wednesday. Let's go. Women's indoor track and field nationals took 8th place as a team led by 5K champ Courtney Wayment, who now has 3 indoor national championships. How about that?
Holy cow.
Claire Seymour took 2nd in the 800. Haley Folsom-Walker, who told us last week on the show she wanted to be a first-team All-American. You got to finish in the top 8. She finished in 5th place. She did it in the pentathlon. Awesome. And Karma Boost and Sierra Tidwell-Alphen tied for 8th in the high jump.
At the men's indoor track and field nationals, we're getting used to this name, BYU Zach McWhorter finished 2nd overall in the pole vault, which means he is a first-team All-American after clearing 18 feet, 8 1/4 inches. Caleb Witskin, his teammate, also a pole vaulter, finished 10th in the event. He's a second-team All-American.
But first in our hearts. After beating number 6 Oklahoma State Thursday in Game 1, the Cougars lost to the Cowboys 3-0 Friday, 8-5 Saturday in Arlington at Globe Life Field, home of the Texas Rangers, who are going to finish hopefully in 4th place in the AO West. 8-5 BYU plays at Utah tomorrow night, 8 Eastern on BYU Radio. First game in the state of Utah.
19th ranked BYU Gymnastics beats Arizona in a dual meet on Saturday afternoon with the Cougars' second highest team score of the season, a 196.825. Sadie Miner-Van Tassel doing her thing with the BYUSN Karma as well. She wins the all-around, but not only does she win the all-around, she ties her personal career best with a 39.525. Unbelievable performance. Next up, the MRGC Championships at Boise State this Saturday, where BYU will be the favorite to win a third consecutive MRGC title.
Men's volleyball snapped the 9-match losing streak with a sweep and a 4-set win over the weekend.
Let's go.
Friday night, the Cougars hit 569, fifth best in the rally era since 01. That was amazing. And 3:30 on Saturday. Cougars have a bye week this week before Pepperdine next week.
BYU softball still excelling, relatively speaking. They go 2-1 over the weekend. They beat up on Rutgers 11-2, lost to Grand Canyon 2-0, then recovered by beating Ball State 14-5. Violet Zavodnik continues just a tear. She hit a grand slam to top the main highlights of the weekend. The Cougars have their home opener tomorrow against Maine on the BYU TV app. You can watch it live at 7 Eastern.
Dude, softball is one of my favorite teams to watch or do play-by-play to because they win in 5 innings a lot.
They win fast.
It's like they play really well and they just get the job done. And you're in, you're out. Let's go.
They get the job done, right? Still a line from Hamilton. Have you seen it?
I have seen it. I don't remember that one.
Okay. We'll recap later. Not important. All rise and shout. It's time for What's Trending.
You're talking about it, and so are we. It's What's Trending on BYU Sports Nation.
The BYU women have now gone from a bracket projection into a bracket fact as a number 6 seed in the Ann Arbor, Michigan region, taking on the Villanova Wildcats, the 11th seed, in a Saturday showdown before what BYU hopes is a second-round matchup probably with Michigan. Jarom, when you look at where BYU's women's team ended up in the bracket, did they get disrespected in any way by the selection committee?
I wish BYU was a 5, not a 6, but listen, BYU didn't give the committee a reason to bump them up at the very end by losing to Gonzaga. If BYU wins and is a 6, now that's weird.
Mm-hmm.
But BYU lost, and so it felt like, okay, a 6 is a possibility.
Jeff Judkins called it.
Yeah. So I looked at, BYU's resume. Net 11, incredible. Non-conference strength of schedule 70. That's really good as well. And this is where I get on my soapbox a little bit. The men's team sheet is something we have highlighted quite a bit that breaks games into quads. Okay? If you're unfamiliar, I'll try and explain it as easily as possible. Depending on where you play a game, it's categorized differently. So if you play a road game on someone's home court, that can be 1 through 75 net. That'll be a quad 1 game. 1 through 50 neutral, 1 through 30 home, and so on and so forth.
You're rewarded for playing on the road and winning on the road more so than winning at home.
Where matters. The women's team sheet does not have this broken down in the same way. I've known this for weeks, but I'm bringing it up for the first time here. They just break down 1 through 25 net, independent of where you play, 26 through 50. What is that? Why? Because it looks like BYU's loss to Portland is in this like third space.
Oh, it's terrible.
It should be a quad 1 loss, and it's a respected, okay loss. I have a real issue with this, and I think because that is not broken down in the same way, that BYU did not ever get in the 4-seed conversation or was a 5. I think it's because they didn't break it down in the same way as the men. They're saying, well, it's just straight up net. No, it matters where you play.
Yeah.
And again, we're doing this thing. We got it right, we being the NCAA. I'm not going to lump myself in with that corrupt organization. They finally this year called it March Madness. They finally call it the men's tournament. They just called it the tournament before, right?
Yep.
They got 68 teams. They did Selection Sunday, right? You're getting the equality that Tegan Graham's Second Class Citizens podcast have talked about in a couple of ways. There's a lot of work to be done, of course, including us. We have things to do better as well. But quad 1 wins. BYU had 3. I broke it down. A 4 seed like Arizona had 4 quad 1 wins, 1 more than BYU, and was a net 19, and had a non-conference strength schedule 143. BYU's in that similar space, right? Maryland was a 4 seed, net 14, non-conference strength schedule 12, did have 5 quad 1 wins. Tennessee was the other 4 seed, net 18, strength schedule non-conference 9. They had 9 quad 1 wins. So BYU's certainly not on that level. But I feel like BYU probably, this was a long-winded answer to say, they probably should have been a 5.
Yes. even with the loss to Gonzaga, their resume merited a 5 seed. Sure. But Jeff Judkins is a smart guy, and he said the committee's going to look at us losing to Gonzaga in our final game, and they're going to say, well, yeah, we'll probably slide them down to a 6 seed. And I'm like, wow, is it as simple as that? Apparently, in some ways, it is. There are 351 Division I women's college basketball teams. BYU had the 11th best net ranking of 351 teams. I am in complete agreement with you when it comes to putting the games into different quadrants. In fact, I was doing it on my own earlier this season. I'm thinking, okay, BYU won at Utah, quad 1 win. BYU won at Gonzaga, quad 1 win. They beat Gonzaga at home. Gonzaga's a top 30 team, quad 1 win.
All 3 games with Gonzaga were quad 1s.
Correct.
Because they were top 30.
BYU beat West Virginia. West Virginia was 49 going into...
They're in the 50s
now. They're in the 50s? Yeah. Okay, so that would have slid to a quad 2.
That's in this third space because they just did 51 through 100. But it's like, no, those are quad 2s. Why is this different from the men's
It shouldn't be.
Team sheet?
It should not be.
Why is it? You think a computer knows gender? A computer doesn't care.
It shouldn't be.
It shouldn't matter.
It shouldn't be. But BYU, at worst, had 3 quad 1 wins and then 2 quad 1 losses. They had a winning record in the toughest games they played.
Yes, and with 3 quad 1 wins, you probably don't deserve a top 4 seed. That's not enough, probably, because strength of schedule should matter. But we're not talking about a 4. We're talking about a 5.
Sure.
Yeah.
Well, I guess we should throw Oklahoma into that as well. Maybe had BYU beaten Oklahoma in overtime on the road, Oklahoma received a 4 seed.
Yeah, maybe BYU. Well, BYU would
gets
be a
the
5
nod there,
or would be a 4 or 5.
At least a 5 because they had beaten Oklahoma on the road at Oklahoma.
So, and regardless, and we'll break this down this week. BYU's still in a position to make the Sweet 16. They are. They're a 6. They're going to be favored in this game. Granted, and we'll break it down more this week. But Villanova, a team that's pretty good. Right? They beat UConn when UConn was down a couple of good players.
Yep, the best player in college basketball. Anything, Paige Beckers.
She's incredible.
And when they got her back, UConn promptly beat Villanova by 30.
Yeah, by 30
in the conference tournament championship
over the weekend. Yep. But the Big East Player of the Year is Maddie Siegrist at 26 a game. Okay, she'll be tough to stop. Let's go.
You know
who wants to guard her?
Paisley Harding.
Perhaps. I think she's more of a big, so it might be Lauren Gustin. But yeah. It'll be fun to break down. Let's go. That's Saturday.
I like the draw. If you're looking at just rankings, BYU number 15 in the latest AP ranking. That hasn't changed because seedings come out.
They're going to put one out today, maybe?
Who knows? Sure. We'll see. Michigan number 12. BYU not that far off
equivalent
from
game.
Where Michigan is. It feels like a decent draw in terms of the matchup if BYU gets to that second round.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
When BYU gets to that second round.
Very good.
Okay, do you love or hate the men's team as a 2 seed in the NIT? How do you feel about this?
I absolutely have a love-hate relationship with this. I hate that BYU is in the NIT, given where the Cougars were a month and a half ago.
Yeah.
You know, flying high. We're asking the question on this show, hey, would all of you be okay if we just ended this thing right now and BYU were an 8 seed in the NCAA tournament? And so many people were like, that's the stupidest question. Of course not. Play it out. They can get better. Well, it didn't get better.
Well, look who's talking now.
It didn't get better. All of us, many of you said, can we go back to that show and change our answer? Yeah, we would all love to change our answer. I hate that BYU's in this situation in the NIT, but if you're in the NIT, you may as well be a 1 or a 2 seed and have the potential to play a bunch of home games and a really good shot to get to Madison Square Garden and finish on a high. You asked me last week who won the NIT. I was like, I have no idea.
I don't know or care.
When BYU got into the NIT this year, I was like, I'm going to do some research. Oh, it was Memphis, coached by Penny Hardaway. They won the NIT last year as a number 1 seed in that team.
And there's no correlation to winning the NIT and the next year doing great. Like, there just isn't, okay?
Sorry. So love-hate. I mostly hate it just because we saw what BYU was doing. They were overachieving. And if they just hang on against Pacific, which is wild to say that. Well, if they had just beaten Pacific, who has a net of 297, and BYU's probably in the NCAA tournament.
Probably, yeah. Oh. And so BYU there were 3 games that defined this season. Well, I mean, you could argue like UVU because you lost in the game. It's not a bad loss, quad 2, but it was losing Gavin Baxter. It was Pacific. It was the opportunities against St. Mary's and San Francisco as well. You could have undone that.
Yeah, you could have shifted some things.
Yes.
For sure.
And it didn't happen. So that's disappointing because there's a guy like Alex Barcelo and a guy like Tejan Lucas who are NCAA tournament caliber players. They didn't come back another year or come to BYU to play in the NIT.
Absolutely not.
I hope the guys are motivated. I could see, I'm not saying they're not, but I could totally understand if they are not. Okay? Because when you're Santa Clara, you're excited to be in the NIT. Okay? When you're BYU, you're not. You expect the last 3 years to go to the NCAA tournament. Okay? This team was ranked as high as 12th. They had a really high start, right? Of course, that was an overachievement, and it was awesome to BYU's credit, like we were talking about. But, yeah, I'm not into it right now. On Wednesday, I will be into it. On game day, it's like, all right, let's go. And BYU has won the NIT in 51 and 66. There's a little history there. Granted, that was like forever ago.
Get to Madison Square Garden.
That would be cool.
Do the best that you can with the circumstances.
Yep. Amen. Good. Yep. A lot of us live in the NIT. Don't actually go to the NCAA tournament in life. You know what I mean? Like, go win the NIT then.
At Holly Tanner tweets in, can't wait to hear Spencer_Linton explain how he got the ultimate snub as a 2 seed in the NIT on BYU Sports Nation.
We're not
today.
breaking down seeds in the NCAA tournament, okay? We've done some stupid stuff here for the last 8 years. That's one thing we are not doing. Also, I'm really hoping we don't do would it be better to win the NIT or lose in the first round of the NCAA tournament? Which
stop.
is like,
it's over. We've discussed
it's
that.
so stupid.
Yes.
That's coming up tomorrow probably.
No, this is no snub. BYU got what they deserved, which is a 2 seed in the NIT. Like the resume and the way that the bubble played out over the weekend with a bunch of teams coming up and earning spots last minute. Like BYU, they're where they should be.
Even if BYU beat San Francisco, like who knows, right? It would have been closer.
Maybe. I mean,
hopefully BYU was in, but we don't know that, right?
Maybe BYU should have been a first 4 out. Who cares? You're not in.
It doesn't matter. Yeah, I was even going to say, are we upset they're not even the first 4 out? No. It doesn't matter.
No. Let's go win your 2 seed.
The Rock.
Our question of the day, which got a stronger reaction from you, BYU Sports Nation, all of you across the nation and world on Selection Sunday? Was that stronger reaction from the BYU women getting a 6 seed in the NCAA tournament or the men a 2 seed in the NIT? Let's go to Voice of the Nation.
This is the Voice of the Nation on BYU Sports Nation.
David Woolsey answers on Twitter, the men missing out. I was so hopeful they still might sneak in, especially hoping for Alex Barcelo and Tejan Lucas. I don't even want to fill out a bracket or watch the tournament now.
Well, that's a very extreme reaction.
That is a strong reaction.
If you don't like even watching March Madness, if BYU's not in it, wow, I'm really sorry. You're in the doldrums of March Madness depression here.
I mean, there were a bunch of things that happened. Wyoming surviving against UNLV. They're the last team in. Indiana, Virginia Tech going on these magical runs in their tournaments. Like, they took bids. They stole some of the final bids. And at that point, it's like, oh, man, BYU has basically no shot.
They got good wins late. And then let's be honest. If it came down to, like, if it was blind resume, hey, BYU got this win over number 29 net so-and-so, great. If you say BYU beat San Francisco, it's not one that's the same as when Virginia Tech beats whoever in the ACC, right? So that's tough. Who's BYU's got to beat what? Probably St. Louis, maybe an SMU in there. Let's go.
Let's go. Get to Madison Square Garden. That'd be fun.
On Wednesday.
Jonathan Hawkinson on Twitter says the BYU women's basketball team getting a 6 seed definitely was the most disappointing, as they deserved at least a 5 seed, considering there are only a few teams with 3 losses or fewer. Their net ranking is the biggest thing for me.
Yeah, wins and losses not as big of a deal, but yeah, BYU had the worst seed for the highest net.
And I'm like, that deserves a 5 seed.
Yeah. Okay, coming up, how motivated is BYU to play in the NIT? We will discuss.
And Jeff Judkins, the head coach of BYU women's basketball, in studio to discuss that 6 seed and the matchup with Villanova to open up the NCAA tournament. This is BYU Sports Nation.
Don't you just miss the good old days? Back when you thought being an adult would be the greatest thing ever. But then, before you know it, you have car payments, student loans, credit card debt. That doesn't even include the mortgage. That's when my loan officer suggested a debt consolidation refinance. And just like that, I'm debt-free, and I'm on track to pay off my mortgage in just 11 years. Take back control of your adulthood! Hey.
Find out how he did it at intercaplending.com/debt-free.
Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork sells Ford vehicles including the F-150, the pickup designed for work and play. Tim Daly Ford maintains a large inventory, providing more choices for selecting an F-150 with the power and engineering to carry and tow heavy loads. The F-150's design offers comfort, safety, and a range of options to choose from. Think Ford, think Tim Daly Ford in Spanish Fork.
Come true. You two are bombing. Buddy, come on. Help me out here. We got it. You know we got it. Come on. I'm undercover as a cat. Yeah, I'm very good at assuming other identities. No. I'm in too deep. I need to catch that laser dot.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
On the latest Deep Blue podcast, I talked with Kristen Kozlowski about the 2002 Sweet 16 team, the incredible story behind her husband's near-death experience, getting into broadcasting, and how she thinks BYU hoops will fare in the Big 12. Listen to it on the BYU Radio app or where podcasts are found.
We're live in Studio B with your day-to-day BYU Sports play-by-play. I'm Spencer Linton, teamed up with Jarom Jordan. It is our pleasure to welcome in the head coach of BYU women's basketball, who carry a number 6 seed into the NCAA Tournament, highest seed ever received in program history. He is Jeff Judkins. Coach, great to have you with us.
It's good to be here.
I want to compliment you on your reaction to receiving the 6 seed in the tournament, because a few years back, we poked fun at you with your very minimal reaction to what happened, and we called it Juddy face. I thought you were really, really exuberant. I thought you did a great job yesterday.
Well, you know, I kind of got reprimanded, maybe, you know, that I need to be more excited about it. And, you know, it's a real stressful time. It's kind of like you're sitting there and you just got done with the test that you're taking, and the teacher is yelling out or saying the scores of your test, and you're waiting, and pretty soon you think you're getting this, and then you got that. And so I knew this year we're going to be in, so that worry was totally gone. And so it was exciting for us to be able to know that our hard work beforehand is what paid off for us.
I'm recalling the first test I took at BYU. I walked down from the brim hall. I look up at the screen, and it says like 38 or something. I was like, oh my God, I suck so bad.
You were on the bubble, and it popped, and you were out.
I wasn't even in the NIT. I was way out of there.
Good.
Okay, you said you wanted something, and you got something else. What did you want? Did you want a 5?
When I'm saying, I don't think it mattered. I guess my biggest concern is playing somewhere close so that our fans could be able to come and support us, parents and all that. So you ship us back east, it's just harder. Where if we could have gone somewhere else like Tucson, or just somewhere else closer, would have been nicer. I wish they would have been. We were close. I think if we'd have won against Gonzaga, it would have been a very interesting selection. With that way, did we get in the top 16 to be able to host?
Do you feel like you would have been 16? It felt like they weren't giving you that because they were releasing that each week, but that you would have been a 5 had you been Gonzaga in the title game?
I think you're right, but it would have been fun to then argue that.
Yes.
It would have been fun for them to sweat a little bit.
And us say, what more can a mid-major do than what we did this year? You told us to go build up our schedule. We did that. You told us to run through your conference. We did that. They told us to beat teams badly to keep your net high, which was 11.
Yeah.
We did that.
I don't think you could be much higher in the net, realistically.
No,
like 11 is amazing.
It is. And so we've done all that, and then now you don't reward us when you tell us to do all this. But, this team's excited to be in the NCAA Tournament. The 6th seed is the highest we've ever had. It's a great seed. We've always done well in that seed. We've been 11 most of the time, but it's a great opportunity for us. The team we play, Villanova, is a very, very good team. They play similar to us. They shoot the ball well. They move the ball. They're smart. They execute their stuff, so it'll be a great matchup. And if we're fortunate enough to win that game, we match up good with the other two teams that are in that bracket. And then if we luck out and win those, then same with the others. So it's a real positive thing for us. I just wish, like I said, we were closer. The Tucson would have been really nice because our fans could really get there.
Sure. Jeff Judkins with us on BYU Sports Nation. A note before my next question, Jeff. I legitimately had one fan message me on Twitter last night and a couple of fans text me and ask, how is the cheapest or what is the cheapest way to get to Detroit? Because we're not going to miss this wherever they send us. And so I think that the interest, even though it is tough, might not have as many, the interest is there.
Well,
like it's
really
been built up.
I mean, we've had unbelievable support this year. I mean, the last home game, but even down the tournament, I mean, we had a really good turnout for us for both those games, and I think BYU Nation has done a great job this year of supporting all their teams, and we as coaches appreciate all what the fans have done. And sometimes you take things for granted, and last year we had no fans. And it was exciting to play, but it's not what it is now, and the excitement and people. And so we just hope we can continue to go. And if fans can get out there, we'd love to get there. I think the fastest way is go to Detroit and probably drive to Ann Arbor, probably. When I was tried out for the Pistons, we practiced in that facility, so I know it pretty well. So it's going to be old memories,
Sure.
on that way.
I found a flight into Cleveland for anybody wondering. For $300 round trip. It's 2 hours and 45 minutes from Cleveland to Ann Arbor.
Well,
do it.
Yeah. I know my son, Jackson, he's going to school at West Virginia. He's getting his doctorate in sports psychology. And he said, Dad, it's 5.5 hours away. I'll be there. So
nice.
Maybe there'll be some other BYU fans back east who want to come.
Certainly, the NCAA has tried to, make certain measures more equal this year. They're calling it March Madness. Calling it the men's tournament. Hopefully the weight room's good. That's what started all of this, right? Which was great.
Yes.
They went to 68 teams. There's still things to be done, though. Where do you feel like the NCAA still needs to help make the women's tournament as similar to the men's as possible? I already complained about the team sheet not being the same.
Yeah, that's probably one. And probably number two is don't play on home court.
You want a neutral site
Neutral
situation.
site completely.
Okay.
So that it makes it more fair for teams to have the opportunity. And try to do what the men do. They try to schedule games where they feel the fans are going to be able to come closer to, to do that. I really liked the thing last year of everybody going to the site and making it a trip, and everybody's playing different things, but the NCAA is all there. I really like that. I think when we had opportunities to kind of give our opinion on a survey, I really said I really enjoyed that. I thought it was more of a NCAA environment tournament. But the first thing they need to do, I think, is change it where it's not going to be teams host. And I know you don't get the fans and all that, but as many as they think. But I think if people want to follow you and you're at a close distance, they're going to come. They're going to be able to do that. So I think that it's going to be interesting. The competitive is pretty. There could be 3 or 4 teams this year who can win this thing. Where I couldn't say that 10 years ago. It's UConn and Tennessee in the finals, or Stanford. Now it's anybody. Anybody can. Yeah. There's a lot of good teams, and you kind of saw it with Baylor and Louisville, who was going to be the number 1 seed, and how it bounced back and forth. Well, they're having a hard time deciding that. Where in the past it's been pretty obvious. These are the 4 teams. It's going to be a fun tournament.
On the selection show yesterday, South Carolina went wire to wire, right?
Yes.
Number 1, and they said 12 out of the last 13 times that's happened, that team won the national championship. So it's Gamecocks versus the field.
Is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what it is.
I'll tell you, Stanford's pretty good, and
the defending champs, right?
Yeah, they're very good. And North Carolina State, I've seen them, and he's done a great job. 2 years, not just 1 year. He's had kids come back, and there's a couple teams, like Iowa State. I thought is definitely one of the top 8 teams. They got moved to a 3rd seed, but they'll get even. They'll meet the team that got ahead of them in the Sweet 16 if they get there.
Go Big 12.
Yeah. We're all Team Big 12 now.
That is. You know, it's really funny you say that because I kind of looked at that in this selection. Like, how many teams in the Big 12 got in? Where are their seedings and all that? So
how many was it? I can't remember.
It was 6, and I think 4 of them got really, got good, good seeds. So
6 of the 10. There's 10 teams in the Big 12.
They should have had 8, but there was one team that was I think was kind of on the bubble, and it didn't for some reason.
Only 6.
Yeah. And we're gonna have what? We're gonna have.
It'll be 14 for 2 years, and then it'll go down.
Yeah. So I'll be interested in what they do with that.
Yeah.
All right, Jeff, let's talk about the response of your team and the mentality overall after the loss to Gonzaga in the championship game. We heard from Paisley Harding earlier, and she mentioned, look, there's clearly a chip on our shoulder. We're going to play with it. Maybe the seeding and the region adds more fuel to the fire in that regard for your team. What's the team mentality like as they now prepare for, as you called, a very good Villanova team?
Well, I think it was hard. We've had so much success this year, and to lose in the tournament knowing that we didn't play like we can play, I think that's the biggest thing. Losing is hard, but if you go out and you play your best and you lose, we didn't play BYU basketball. We didn't play with the intensity that we needed. We didn't do something. We didn't shoot the ball definitely not well in the tournament, and I think that part is hard. It was. Couple days was tough. We gave some time off, and then we came back and practice, and I think we're getting more focus and getting more of that, mojo. Getting more confidence. Last night, see where we got put in. I think my team was really excited to know that that's where 6 seed. We got a good chance of going far if we play. And today will be an interesting practice. I'm sure it'll be a really exciting practice. They'll be ready to prepare for this game. And, Villanova is a very good team. And every team, you see all those teams, and you go, that team's good. I remember that team. But it's kind of nice. There was a lot of teams that got in the field that we beat. They got to the field. So that's a real positive thing for us.
Yeah, a quick, look at Villanova. Maddie Siegrist averages 26 a game, almost 10 rebounds. She's a heck of a player. Biggest really player of the year. That's with UConn in the league.
Yeah, she's amazing. Range, can put the ball on the ground. She can pass. She's a really good player. We're going to have our hands full, and I don't know yet who's going to have that fun assignment to guard.
Okay,
her.
But you have a smile on your face. I can sense you welcome this challenge.
I do because
you're like, let's go.
Because a lot of people think the Big East is a better conference than ours, and so now we have a chance for us to show that BYU's been in a good conference.
Maybe it's Lauren Gustin who draws that assignment.
Might be. It might be Paisley.
There you go.
Maybe
Paisley.
Tegan had a great tournament, really defensively. She had to guard the Fowler, and I thought she did as good a job on Fowler as anybody did, and then she did a good job against Gonzaga with their strength. So this kid's a little different player. She, like you said, she can go outside, she can go inside, and she's probably more of an outside player. She puts the ball on the ground, but she can score.
Paisley it is.
So we'll see what happens.
You think Paisley wants the challenge?
I'm sure.
Oh, my goodness.
Paisley's like, it's you or me getting stitches. Let's go.
I'm sure she'd take it.
Jeff, congratulations again.
Thanks,
on a fantastic
guys.
Season on the number 6 seed, making history with the 26 wins. It's just been remarkable. So let's give you the BYU Sports Station karma, man.
And so,
go and get it done. Ann Arbor.
And hopefully we'll be able to be on TV. People will be able to see us and support us again.
I'm making a plea. If you're within an 8-hour radius of Detroit.
And you're an alumni of BYU, you must go.
Just go. Just find a way to be. That's a Saturday.
And when do you guys leave, by the way?
I think we leave Thursday morning.
Thursday?
Yeah.
Get a full day on Friday?
Yeah.
Extra media the whole day?
Yeah.
Okay,
all
awesome.
Stuff. It'll be fun.
All right. Thanks, Jeff.
Hey, thanks, you guys.
You got
Thank
it.
you.
Let's go. Okay, coming up, are we cheering for fellow West Coast Conference teams in the NCAA Tournament?
I'm hit or miss there. And did BYU add an elite game to the football schedule?
I know where you're going.
This is BYU Sports Nation.
I know exactly where you're going with this. Good gosh.
And now, introducing your Mountain America All-Stars. Out of BYU, Alex Barcelo and Shaylee Gonzalez.
Thanks for the warm welcome.
So is this where we get the BYU card?
But of course. The only place you can.
This is really cool.
Yeah, but mine's better.
No way.
Get your BYU card from Mountain America today. It's perfect for students, alumni, and super fans.
I know what it's like to be overlooked, to be doubted, to fly under the radar. I only had one offer coming out of high school, but I was ready for every moment, every opportunity, and every shot that I got. Now I'm playing professional basketball, aiming to be one of the best shooters on the planet. And I'm just getting started. Be ready for your moment with Rapid Reboot, the future of rapid recovery.
Familiar with the BYU TV app? Yes.
I beg your pardon?
Sure, it's got great original TV shows. But it also gives you access to family films for free.
Wow. Awesome!
So gather around, grab some popcorn, and let us do the rest.
It'll be fun.
Watch some of your favorite films anytime, anywhere. With the free BYU TV app.
I like it.
BYU Sports Nation is brought to you by Maersk, enabling global trade for a growing world.
BYU men's basketball continues the season as a 2 seed in the NIT. Oh, I'm being told this is the NIT.
Oh, yeah.
They host Long Beach State Wednesday night, pregame on BYU Radio, 8 Eastern.
Ah, yes, the NIT. He is Jeremiah Spencer. Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation.
That'll be perfect. There'll be a few BYU fans doing their thing, you know?
To interact with the show, get great content throughout the day. Some knitting instructions from Jarom, perhaps.
That's knit. Knit.
Follow us on the social media platforms of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, and TikTok. Now it's time to whip it. Cougar Whip Round presented by Maersk, your integrated container logistics company enabling global trade for a growing world.
Which Elite Eight potential rematch? It's not an Elite Eight in the NIT, but you know what I mean. Do you want to see more? The BYU women versus Gonzaga or the BYU men versus Santa Clara?
I want, if I have to pick one of these, it's the BYU women against Gonzaga.
Yeah.
There was a bad taste left in the mouth after BYU lost to Gonzaga in the West Coast Conference women's title game. Yeah, it's Gonzaga BYU in the Elite Eight.
Certainly the BYU men would like a rematch with Santa Clara. Only had the one game, right?
Yeah.
Play a home game. But that's the NIT. No. That's the NIT. So I'm calling it that the rest of I don't care.
On to some college football news with Rich Cirminello, who has BYU offensive tackle Kingsley Suamataia, part of his 2022 all-transfer portal team, because that's a thing now. What impact do you expect from the all-transfer portal team member, Kingsley Suamataia?
Ask opposing left ends when he is the starting right tackle for BYU, potentially. If Blake Freeland's the left tackle, we'll see, TBD. Then... yeah, he's going to literally be laying flat on top of them several times from pancakes. Yeah, but just if you see Kingsley on campus, just hand him some syrup. Let's go. He's going to start, and he's going to be awesome, and he's going to be a top day 1 or 2 selection in the next 2 years.
It's so tough to say, oh, man, the offensive line. Are you watching the offensive line? They're incredible. People are watching the quarterback. They're watching the wide receivers. But I think we will, because we feel like that's the strongest position group of BYU right now. The deepest, strongest, and it's not close, right?
Pun intended. Strongest, yeah. In the vein of Tom Brady coming out of his 40-day retirement, which former BYU Cougar under the age of 45 would you like to see play one more season at LaVell Edwards Stadium at their current age?
At their current age?
Mm-hmm.
Well, my default is like Taysom Hill. Okay, yeah, I want Taysom Hill to come back and play another season at LaVell.
What non-NFL player?
Right?
Yeah.
Okay, so a non-NFL player, somebody that's like been away from football, it's not still currently in the NFL.
Yeah, we're like Fred Warner.
Maybe the best linebacker in the game.
Yeah. Jamal Williams.
I'm probably going to go with Max Hall. I just like Max Hall's fire.
It's Max for me too. Here's why. He's an OC at ALA in Queen Creek, Arizona. That means he's throwing the ball every day.
Exactly.
He's still got it. Plus he's jerked.
If Ty Detmer were not over 45, I'd probably vote for Ty.
Oh, yeah.
But he's over 45.
Yeah. Can Ty still sing it? I have no idea.
Yeah, for me, it's Max. I love his fire and his intensity.
Oh, yeah. No, and in case you missed it, we are broadcasting March 31st, the BYU football alumni game. We're so excited about this. It's Federick and Hall as the quarterbacks.
Max Hall's going to play.
Kevin Federick is going to find Chris Hale again.
We get the opportunity to watch this happen for one more game.
One more? Wait, the Utah game wasn't the last game? We should kind of end on that note, let's be honest.
Jarom, Davide Gardini, your guy, BYU men's volleyball, does it again.
Yes, he does.
With the behind-the-head kill shot. It's incredible. That dude, come on. Which was better, Saturdays versus Concordia or a couple of years ago against UC Santa Barbara?
I'm going to say UCSB. Here's why. I believe that was in the 5th set, and it's UCSB, not Concordia. And it was totally out of nowhere. Now we're like, oh, Davide has this in his
he can do
arsenal.
that.
Yeah. The first one was shocking, and it went viral. Like in the volleyball world, it went viral, which was super cool.
The contortion of his body in the first one against Santa Barbara is unbelievable. Like, they're both unbelievable.
Yeah.
But he stayed on his feet in the first one, too, and I just was like, what just happened?
He tumbled a little bit. Not the most graceful fall, but it was a kill regardless. Behind the head. Unbelievable stuff.
The initial in this sequel series is the best. The number one in Santa Barbara.
The Ramses arms are the number one. After the owner of a local barbecue joint commented on the Utah game day experience compared to the SEC, some Utah fans mobbed on Twitter. With that in mind, what would Cam True have to say to draw the ire of BYU fans?
Shout out to Cam and Bam Bam.
Bam Bam Barbecue. What would he have to say to draw the ire?
Man, it was pretty bad. He'd probably have to, I don't know, be public about, congratulating Utah on a win over BYU or something like that. That'd probably make a lot of BYU fans mad.
Yeah, he'd have to challenge the status quo in a way that's too uncomfortable.
Don't do it, Cam.
We like you, Cam.
Don't.
He did respond to this
Don't
situation.
do it.
You can go check it out.
All right,
he did say the tailgating needs to get a little closer to the stadium.
But he did it with tact and in a very, very
How
wise
you say
way.
something matters.
Indeed it does, my friend. We knew about Max Hall and Kevin Federick, but now we had players like Colby Pearson, Micah Hanneman, Alani Fua, Mitch Matthews, committed to play in the alumni game now March 31st.
Look at these graphics.
Now that Mitch is officially committed, Jarom, it's obviously that this game is now going to be elite, right?
No, these guys are older. It's not gonna. You're gonna expect them to be the college version of themselves. There's no way.
Are you saying the college version of Mitch was elite?
I'm not. No. No. I love Mitch. He got cut by the Browns, who were terrible at the time. Come on, Mitch is an awesome dude. Let's not go there. I think he's an elite person. I think he was a very good college player.
Made some elite plays in college?
Yeah.
Okay.
Keep fishing.
Trying to reel it in, baby.
Coming up, rise and shout out to another national champ.
And which Elite Eight rematch do you want to see more, Jarom? Yeah, let's tackle it again.
The E word.
Let's tackle it again. Let's discuss rooting for WCC teams as well. Are you all in on the USF? This is BYU Sports Nation.
If I got hurt and was laid up at home, I wouldn't even think to call a lawyer. What a hassle. I'd want to meet them first.
What if I told you that for your first consultation, your lawyer will come to you, home or hospital?
Really?
Really.
They do that?
If you've been injured, we'll come to you. It's your job to get better. It's our job to deal with the insurance companies.
Learn more at siegfriedandjensen.com.
Hi, Spencer Linton here, letting you know when your company joins the BYU team as a corporate partner, your brand can be featured in sports programming on BYU TV and BYU Radio. In addition to all of the great games, you can be part of the BYU coaches shows, place your message in Countdown to Kickoff, basketball pre- and post-game shows, and each weekday on BYU Sports Nation. We invite your team to join ours and become a corporate sponsor of BYU Athletics. For details, email sponsorship@byu.edu today.
This is where we dominate. Our playground, place of business. This is our promised land. where we seek to find ourselves. And we're here to make sure the spaces our best prove themselves on appear how they should. Intermountain Healthcare, official medical provider for BYU Athletics.
Ladies and gentlemen, Will Forte! Honey, look! My wish must have come true. You two are bombing. Buddy, come on. Help me out here. We got it. You know we got it. Come on. I'm undercover as a cat. Yeah, I'm very good at assuming other identities. No. I'm in too deep. I need to catch that laser dot.
BYU Sports Nation is presented by the BYU Store, official outfitter of BYU fans everywhere.
BYU softball opens the home schedule tomorrow as they host Maine. The Black Bears, let's go. 7 Eastern on the BYU TV app. This team is awesome again with Violet Zabodnik and Hunter Ava and company. Let's go.
Welcome back to BYU Sports Nation. We're hanging out live in Studio B on a Monday. Brackets are out. I'm sure many of you have already filled out multiple.
my eldest Gorham says, Prez goes, hey, just so you know, if you fill them out Monday, you'll do way better than on Sunday if you fill them out tonight. And I'm thinking, why is that?
Why does that matter?
I have no idea what he was talking about.
Just fill out the bracket.
I also asked if we could offer a prayer on BYU's behalf. That was met with laughter.
Did they
and then I said,
heed your counsel?
Just kidding. God doesn't care about how the teams do. He does care about individuals.
Jarom, 3 West Coast Conference teams on the men's side did make the NCAA tournament bracket.
Yes, 2 on the women's.
Gonzaga, the 1 seed overall.
Shocking.
A 5 seed for St. Mary's.
How about that, bro?
And a 10 seed for USF. Will you be
good for you
for any, or dare I say, all of the West Coast Conference teams in the approaching NCAA tournament?
I haven't thought too hard about this, but I think I will. When when Santa Maria is in the tourney, something changes for me. I'm like, sure, yeah, go ahead.
They're a good team.
Yeah,
I like Alex. You know what? The
Alex
one
Jensen,
interview we've done with Randy Bennett on this show was a really fun experience. He's a quirky dude. It almost made us mad that he was cool.
Sadly, he was actually nice and cool. Mark Few was cool too. Yeah, I think I'm going for all 3. I know Shep mentioned on the show that he can't root for Gonzaga, or I think kind of anybody that isn't BYU that they play. I think. I think I'm going for the league. I'm not like blaring it, WCC, baby.
No.
When we are in the Big 12, we will do this, okay? We have mocked Utah for its Pac-12-ness for a while. We will do this and be happy about it. Like when Baylor wins the Natty in basketball, we're like, dude, our brethren in arms, man, getting it done. When the women's team from Baylor wins the national championship.
Shout out to Waco.
Let's go. We, the league, did this. I'm pretty sure we're going to do that together.
I will cheer for,
generally speaking.
I will absolutely cheer for Gonzaga. I want them to win a national championship. It's the one thing they haven't done. They've been to the Final Four 3 times. They've been to the national title twice.
But can Gonzaga win the big one?
Can they win the big one?
Yeah, they can.
I hope that Mark Few is able to do it. I hope it's this year. I'll be cheering for Gonzaga.
Good setup here.
We love Barrett Henderson, their sports information director.
He watches the show sometimes.
Great dude. Again, he reiterated that to me in Las Vegas.
Nice.
He's like, especially like during Gonzaga weeks, I watch all the time. He very well could be tuned in today because guess what? Gonzaga doesn't have a Gonzaga Sports Nation, and undoubtedly when they're the number 1 overall seed, we're talking about Gonzaga.
They don't have one.
Okay.
Or a football team.
I am rooting for the 5 seed St. Mary's. We love Alex Jensen, their play-by-play guy. This is an all-time team.
Yes, in the NCAA tournament only. Like when it's even non-conference, I'm like, argh. When it's in season, and now I'm like, whatever.
I don't want St. Mary's to be one of the 5 seeds that loses to a 12 seed that has happened a bunch of times.
Yes.
No, go Gales.
If the Gales make a run, we're like,
awesome.
Cool.
BYU beat the Gales this year.
That was a good win. It's moral victory. Yay.
Okay. When we get to the 10 seed USF.
Talk to me about USF. Still bitter over the quarters? How are we feeling?
I'm not super high on the Dons. Like, I think that they're a good team. I did not like the way that they handled the situation near the end of the game. Not so much the dunk. It wasn't the dunk that by Jamari Bouye.
But the dunk was sort of the
catalyst.
cherry on top.
Catalyst.
That was the beginning for you.
The catalyst, and then I heard the post-game commentary.
You didn't like that?
And I was like, really?
Well,
don't make it about that. You just beat BYU. Make it about the fact that you're probably in the NCAA tournament.
They were asked. They didn't bring it up on their own, though. Just full context.
Sure. They're asked why
they
the
didn't
dunk.
say,
why the dunk.
You know why we dunked? Yeah, they were asked.
But then Todd Golden, the head coach, doubled down.
Yeah. Here's my defense of that situation. They haven't been there before.
They've never been there?
They haven't been there before. This is new. They haven't been in the NCAA tournament since '98. They got some success. They're excited about it. We can empathize with rubbing it in someone's face. Utah with the win, landing streak. We do this, So yes, it was annoying. And it's compounded by the fact that it knocked BYU out of the NCAA
absolutely.
Tournament.
I'm annoyed.
Yeah,
I'm
for sure.
annoyed.
Yes,
at all of it.
I understood why it happened. Yeah, so that's a no from you. Todd Golden, will he get another different high-profile job?
Then he's going to bounce.
I think he might bounce after this year. We'll see. Okay, coming up, who gets today's Elite Voice of the Day? That's not used in vain.
And let's revisit the latest national champ at BYU. We've got a bunch this year. This BYU Sports Nation.
Trio Orem Senior Living believes in empowering seniors to live life to the fullest. We help eliminate stress out of daily life when you live at Trio. Less time focusing on housework means you can socialize at one of our many events, with safety in mind, of course. And did we mention our spacious apartments with modern amenities? Learn more about setting up a private tour at trioorem.com.
Turn TV time into together time with the BYU TV app. Watch all your favorite shows when, where, and how you want.
This isn't like a practical joke, is it?
No, sir. Immerse yourself in stories with all the feels. Go on uninterrupted journeys of discovery and see families coming together while watching with your own. See new and original content, all for free on the BYU TV app.
Uh-oh. Do you not know the groom's name?
I missed it on our first date, and it's way too late to ask.
Whenever you experience something funny, the first thing you want to do is share it with your loved ones. Seeing that comedy helped us through things, we want to use that to help other people in a way.
We had one kid whose make-a-wish was to come to Studio C. It made me be these goofy sketches mean a lot to people.
This portion of BYU Sports Nation is presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
BYU Sports Nation, always available on demand via the BYU TV and BYU radio apps.
I feel like we never used the camera 3 over here like this. Let's just hang out a little bit. You can always download the podcast. Just Google BYU Sports Nation podcast, subscribe, rate, and review.
Our question of the day.
Stick with it? We'll just stay here, Michael Hunter? Direct?
Question of the day. Which got a stronger reaction from you on Selection Sunday? The BYU women earning a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament, going to Ann Arbor, the Eastern Time Zone, or the men's team receiving a 2 seed in the NIT, or as Jarom has dubbed it, the NIT.
The NIT. No one calls it that. We're doing that this week.
At Tall Cool Lisa, because Lisa is tall and cool.
Yeah, being tall is cool.
Seriously, people, I remember vividly the Mountain West Conference year. Wyoming's women's basketball was snubbed by the NCAA. The Cowgirls won the NIT that year, and most of the games were home games. Tell me that doesn't give you bragging rights and keep you pumped for the next season. #lemons, #lemonade. Okay, so turn the BYU men's scenario from lemons into lemonade.
If your standard is Wyoming and you're not necessarily expecting every...
I'm sorry, I stopped paying attention when you said standard is Wyoming. Jarom's lost it.
If you're Wyoming, yes, you're excited about the NIT. Trust me, I've called WNIT games. Story time. Michael Cooper, the great LA Laker from Showtime on HBO Max. He was the coach of USC. I can't remember if I subbed in for you or whatever. Anyways, he finds out for some reason he brings me out into the middle of the team during a shoot around, and he makes me dance.
What?
He says, "Show us your best dance. Go ahead." And the whole team's like, "Yeah, yeah." They're like doing a beat, and I'm like, "Oh my gosh, I have to actually do this. I can't." So I did like the stanky leg or something with Michael Cooper and the USC women's team. So back to Wyoming. Their standard isn't excellence, okay? But it's in any situation for BYU men or women, it's disappointing to go to the NIT. So that's where it's a little different.
Sure. Yeah, and no, I mean, to the point of tall, cool Lisa.
I hear you.
You can turn lemons into lemonade for sure. You get to Madison Square Garden.
What if
awesome.
those lemons aren't ripe?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Not all lemons are created equal.
Yes, exactly. Thank you.
Our elite voice of the day, presented by Sundance Mountain Resort, from Toby McCarty on Twitter. He answers, the men's seed made me shrug my shoulders.
Yeah.
The women's seed made me shake my head. Okay, so the stronger reaction with the shake of the head. Like, come on, man.
Yeah.
11 in the net.
Yeah.
6th seed?
Yeah, it's a
Ann
bummer.
Arbor?
It's a bummer. Let's go, though. Come on, let's go.
Bring it on. Today's
Game day.
Rise and Shout Out, presented by Mountain America, the official credit union of BYU Athletics.
Women's indoor track and field at the championships, taking 8th as a team. Courtney Wayman, national champ.
Amazing. Again.
Haley Folsom Walker, and a bunch. They wanted to compete and do well, and they did. Amazing showing. Congratulations.
Haley Folsom Walker, exercising the karma. She did what she said she was going to do. First team All-American.
Like Kylo Ren.
It's fantastic. Our thanks to today's guest, Jeff Judkins. He's got a chip on his shoulder.
Sorry to Dennis. No time.
For Jarom, I'm Spencer. Shout out to Lexi Eaton Rideouts. She was on the Sweet 16 team for the women's team. We'll see you tomorrow. Go Cougs.